Okay guys, this video might be a little odd to some. It's basically for people that might be having trouble with a newer camera and editing their video. I've been experiencing since I got my Eos R. First artifacts, then drop frames, then drop sections of video, and yesterday and today the worst one I was surprised was out of sync video and audio. I was like, okay, this is not fun. I think for the longest time I made sure I updated the software thinking it had something to do with the camera, maybe the Kodak type of file. I was using Corel 2018 Ultimate Video Studio, and it was pretty decent at first. I think maybe a month or so later I started getting trouble. I'd have to take out pieces of my video and try to put them up on YouTube, and I didn't feel happy about that. I thought it might be the card. I'm getting SanDisk cards, good ones, good speed, U1, U3, and still it would start out great, especially if I got a new card, and it would slowly get the artifact, get the drop frames, and then get the drop sections. And this happened to me since I had the camera. Not sure, a year and a half, maybe longer. I bought it when it came out, so that's how long I had it. When the body came out, I bought it immediately. Finally, I came to a realization. I said, you know what? This is after all this time of having all this trouble. Let me try to update the software. I had 3 cards that the files came out corrupt on Ultimate Video Studio 18, and after I updated to 2020, all 3 cards worked perfectly with the same exact files. I was like, oh, finally. I guess the point is, if you have a newer camera and you might have slightly older software, despite it works with 1080, MP4, whatever format you're using, and it says it works with it, it might be an issue what type of file it is. I think I was getting that, or I could have got what Apple did when they bricked my Fire S. That was fun. I had to pay $35 to get my phone back to original, get it working, until I decided to get another phone per se sometime later. Or Corel could have just put some bugs in there and said, you know what, it's time for you to update, kid. So I had to update. That was the issue. I had to update to the newer software. There's a lot of expensive software out there that probably won't give you any issues, but not all of us can afford it. I like the Corel Ultimate Video Studio because it's easy to learn, it's easy to use. You guys can see some of my intros that I made, MP4 files I downloaded from YouTube, and I added some text to it, you know, some simple stuff. They're kind of cool. You guys can take a look at, I do have an intro video when I first started doing it, I think last year. About this time, December, sometime December 2000, maybe 19, something like that. And I'm very happy that I figured out a solution, and I wanted to put up this small video for you guys. After you exhaust all your possibilities, you update the firmware on your camera. You know you're using SanDisk cards that never give you issue before. Most likely it's probably your software needs to be updated. It might be a little too old for that newer camera Kodak they're using or something like that, and it could give you trouble. If you're getting the same trouble I got, it could be Sony, Nikon, Fuji, Canon, it could be anybody. A new camera. Fuji has some tough files to deal with sometimes, editing and video. Could be any camera, especially if it's a new one and you're used to using older video editing software. That's where it might be an issue. It might not be the cards, it might not be the camera, the firmware update, none of that. It might be the software. And usually it's cheaper to update your software than to buy a whole new entire package. So I want you guys to consider that. My goodness. Remember when I first started, about 10 years ago. Was looking for a software that would work, and they had a Corel something, I forget what it was, and it worked good. It made the file smaller to a proxy file, and the editing was so much faster. And then it would bring it back to the original, whatever it was, and you could export it, share it, do what you want. That was 10 years ago. It took me a while to find that, and I always let Corel after that. But my big mistake was I was using an older software with a newer camera. They probably, I think, similar time kind of came out, maybe 2018, maybe a hair prior, and they probably didn't update the software enough for this camera to work very good with it. So something to consider for you guys. I would ask you guys a question. Seems kind of odd, but who have you had your biggest arguments with? I built my computer $1,700, i4790K or something, i7 4790K gigabyte, and I was trying to build a Hackintosh this time. It came out, but of course all the programs didn't work, so I don't like Hackintoshes at all. They're constant headaches. All your programs don't fully work. I'll never do that again. I went straight to Windows after that. Put a water cooler on here. I don't have a video card or graphics card on here because that i7 particular does well now. I don't want to use 1080p. I'm not gonna even bother with 4K. That's for others that need that or want that or want to downscale to 1080 and get some gorgeous video doing it that way. Comes out really, really nice downscale like that. But my biggest arguments I ever had was with computers. And I'm talking about a week-long argument. It just wouldn't work. No matter what I did, go to sleep that night, wake up the next day, keep going at it, and eventually I would get it. But boy, those are some big arguments. I figured out what acts as an interesting point. Anyway, I hope you guys got the point. After you exhaust all your possibilities, and the manufacturer says no, it's probably not your computer, the camera, not like that, or your cards, it's probably the software. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.